West coasting, bringing it back to California, from Melrose to Malibu.
I thought Rag & Bone was really strong. It was a little bit of a new direction for them. It was very spare, almost minimalist, with a nod to the 90s in that way, but I thought it was also really sexy and wearable.
I wanted to be like a reflection and a refraction of nature and technology, but I didn't want it to be techie, you know, I didn't want it to be like neoprene and slick and everything. I wanted it to be everything matte and raw.
The clientele is very much Hollywood, very much red carpet, and that's what you're seeing on this. There's not going to be a whole lot of day where this is all fantasy, you know, special moment of your life kind of dresses.
West coasting, bringing it back to California, from Melrose to Malibu. It's about surfing, it's about the California relaxed lifestyle, a modern twist, a lot of color, sporty life, skating, outdoors. The classic pieces in this collection are really twisted. I mean, they're either retro or very modern, and a mix of both. But you're not going to see a lot of classic. You're going to see classics really, really brought forward, or you're going to see something very modern.
With his whole homage to Americana perfectly. So we saw the girls on a sandy boardwalk, scuba-inspired California girls, as only Tommy can do. Overall, we still kept that sort of youthful moment happening, but again with different fabrications with the scuba fabrics, I think still managed to be preppy at the same time in a sort of California way. It was a good change from moving coasts from like perhaps East Coast moment. We're now over on the other coast, which is cool, but it's still the whole Hilfiger vibe. I love the wedge sneakers, and they're super like multicolor. I think that was great, and I think it's really going to fly off the shelves.
Tommy just, you know, he fixates on a trend and just like blows it out to the nth degree. And, you know, last season it was plaid and this season it was the beach. And I loved all those pieces with the surfer kind of pseudo neoprene suit jackets and the bathing suits. I mean, Joan Smoltz in the bathing suit. It doesn't get much better than that. Business is just exponentially successful in Europe, and they love an American trend, and he's going to give it to him, serve it right up this year. Endless summer. That's what I thought it was. I love those shaggy shipwreck knits. I thought that was great. And the varsity numbered sports. I mean, that's a big varsity sports inspired athletic fashion is a huge trend this season. So he took it and ran with it. And then all the Hawaiian tropic print dresses at the end.
I think the Tommy girl is ageless, and I think that she is moving around the world. She's traveling, she's going places and doing things, and she needs to really have the option to wear whatever she wants to wear whenever she wants to wear it without rules. So I don't restrict people with rules.
Rag & Bone was really strong. It was a little bit of a new direction for them. It was very spare, almost minimalist, with a nod to the 90s in that way, but I thought it was also really sexy and wearable, which is what they do really well. But I thought it was kind of nice that they sort of got away from the whole British tweed thing and really focused on these sort of sexy pieces like the fold-down trousers and the crop tops, which I guess are not going away anytime soon. And lots of summertime leather, which I think is a big trend we're going to see going forward. The perforated leather pants were really cool. Also, some of the pastel-y colored leathers.
Rag & Bone was really sharp. I love how every season it's a different look, and this season I thought like that geometric modernism felt right, and the tennis sweaters seemed really cute, and picking up on the knit trend that started with Ralph Simmons from his Dior collection last season. So we're seeing how you can wear that into an everyday outfit.
I thought Rag & Bone was very sporty today. Afterwards, I saw everybody's Instagrams and people were really responding to the tennis sweaters with the deep V's. Even when they do sporty, it always has a little bit of a kick or a twist, and so they made it more sexy, I think, with the plunging necklines and the short little skirts. One thing that I like about them is sort of how mix and match they are, and it goes back to the idea that these are designers that put real clothes on the runway. good muses in their wives who are both beautiful and very chic, and moms, so their lives aren't completely fabulous. They have responsibilities, and they have to clean out the refrigerator like everybody else. They've always done really well with platform sandals, and there's a practicality to those compared to heels.
I think they're creative, but I also think that they have a really good business sense. They aren't so wedded to an idea or a concept that they forget that they're actually dressing people for real life, and they're actually making clothing that's relatively accessible considering what you see on the runways. So I think that they just are really grounded in that way, and that makes them succeed.
I think it's been a slow evolution. Their success was in menswear first, which is good for a lot of designers because it's a little bit less being in the fishbowl. You can kind of do things quietly and figure out how to make clothes that work for your customer, get the fit right, figure out what actually people want to wear. And that seems to be the first question they think about when they start at the design table.
I think that there's a reality chic to the Rag & Bone collection.
We're calling it elemental hair, so it's a girl that's been exposed to the elements, the sea, the wind, the water, the sun. There's a little bit of a kind of castaway, wash the shore feeling to the girl, a bit Robinson Crusoe. Philip kept talking a lot about water, aqua. He liked the idea that hair looked wet in some way. The main thing we're using is the grit, which is a strong mousse, but a lot, like literally 3/4 of a can on each girl. Soaking the hair, and rather than drying it in with a brush, we're just diffuse drying the hair, so it gives it a natural dry texture, almost like a girl that's been in the sea on holiday. And then in the back, I wanted to create this almost like savageness to the hair, so there's this dreadlock knot in the back of the hair. It almost looks like she's kind of slept in her hair, so it still gives it that kind of street appeal to his girl.
I'm calling it my monochromatic cyber glow. It is a glow that is multi-tonal. There's opalescent qualities to it. We used a foundation, a tinted moisturizer mixed with a illuminator to make that opalescence pop. We did Iceland eyeshadow. Brows are pushed up, and then on the lip there's a brand new lip gloss called Aniflo, which is a beautiful opaque iridescent purpley lip gloss. Philip took me to the collection and he showed me all these beautiful fabrics that have an inspiration from under the sea, and really wanted that to be a feature with the makeup for the girls for the show.
It's more about a research into terrains and landscapes and bodies of water, living organisms that exist in these kind of delicate and brutal ecosystems, places like the Galapagos. It's really the brute and the beautiful. If you look at the first opening looks, it was like the organzas and the taffetas, but held together by the energy of geodes, you know? And I think that it's like the brutal force, and something is about balance and counterbalancing it all, and letting this delicacy and respecting it. Maybe it's a response to the chaotic pace and everything and looking for something solid to stand on, and what better solidity is like rocks, you know? I wanted to be like a reflection and a refraction of nature and technology, but I didn't want it to be techy, you know. I didn't want it to be like neoprene and slick and everything. I wanted it to be everything matte and raw, and the whole idea of like simplicity. Somehow the most simple, brutal shapes become the most futuristic.
I really liked his kind of earthy coastal inspiration. I thought that the prints were really interesting and the textures. There was kind of a mixed media, like sort of raffia and knit sweater that was very cool. Easy clothes and a mellow feeling, and blues are very important, and we saw a touch of pink in that collection, and also kind of a different kind of proportion, sort of boxier shapes and longer length sleeveless jackets over cropped pants. All of that came together at his show. I liked how he sort of redid the motorcycle jacket, which has kind of become one of the iconic pieces in his line, and he kind of redid it almost with a kimono spin in prints, which I thought was very cool as well. And I mean, he's just a designer who seems to really be able to hit on like every trend every season, and so once you see his show, I feel like everything kind of comes together for the season.
I love it. You know, the last few seasons, I think he's finally been like carving out a special niche for himself. There's a lot of deconstruction, a lot of layering going on, so he's hitting all those trends, but you know, he's giving you a sort of rocker sensibility with the negative print, but he's doing it in a little bit more tailored, sophisticated way. And I kind of think that that's a great move for him because, you know, he's growing up as a designer and he's establishing himself. The volume and the shapes of the jackets and the crop jackets and the transparency pieces I thought were great. You know, everybody's talking about what's next in fashion and fabric and technology, and this season I think he really got on the bandwagon with that, and I think it really worked for him.
We were also exploring the whole idea of simple bags, but you know, quote unquote simple bags, and really showing the rawness with the raw leathers and really exposing the artisan's hands and the skill and the folding and tucking and pleating without seaming and all the charms that were dangling on the outside. It was like this whole idea of you were capsized and you fell overboard, and then all your accoutrements from the inside left hanging on the outside. Kind of tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, serious bags with just some humor. I think it's for everyone who understands.
Wow, what an amazing, amazing show at Marchesa. The embroideries were just sort of breathy and light, and the color palette was so sweet. It was beautiful, almost icy and Victorian and vintage looking. I loved it.
It was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It was delicate and beautiful and lovely.
It was definitely very vintage, very, very romantic, but softer Marchesa, not so three-dimensional. You know, it was more toned down, but opulent, really rich, you know, nuanced and textured and layered. Just incredible. I loved it so much.
Well, there was definitely a lot going on. You had the amazing pastel flowers, you had the gilded lace, you had the different panelings, the different layers. So, you know, you couldn't look at it just once. You're not going to be able to understand it if you're looking at it just through photos. You really need to go into the stores, take a close look at it, because there's a lot of detail, a lot of hard work went into each and every outfit on that catwalk.
What I love is the empire waist, the sort of torso wrappings with the empire waisted created by the ribbons at the underbust and natural waist. Just stunning collection. And of course the thread work to create the sort of, I don't know what they used to create those beautiful sort of shimmery skirts that were made of metallic and shimmery threads. That was incredible artistry on their part. Really, really amazing.
Well, I mean, my particular favorite was the beaded dress, the swags of beadings. That's something, again, so decadent, but also very referential of the 1920s, but in a modern way. So it was quite attractive. That would be on top of my list for sure. Well, you know, as always, what you expect from this brand is something romantic, very feminine, and, you know, they give what their clientele expects, and you see that the clientele is very much Hollywood, very much red carpet, and that's what you're seeing on this. There's not going to be a whole lot of day where this is all fantasy, you know, special moment of your life kind of dresses.